Born out of Economic Development, Sedalia, Pettis County, our goal is to create an ecosystem here in the community and in our region to identify and support our entrepreneurs. So without further ado, please let me welcome to the floor our two presenters, our first presenters, Bobbi Wilson and Shelby Wilson. Why don't you guys come on up? They are here representing Whiskey Ridge Rescue. So while they're on their way, please give them a warm 1 Million Cups welcome.
Good morning. Hope everybody's way more awake than I am. I was given notice on this about 4 days ago, and then I just got home from vacation at 12:30 last night. So I'm a little not prepared. I'm Bobbi Wilson, and this is my daughter Shelby. Whiskey Ridge Rescue is a horse rescue that was put into place in 2016. It became an official nonprofit organization. It's located between Windsor and Greenridge at AA and B Highway, kind of a junction right there. It started as, from the owner, Jamie and Brandon Taylor actually own it. I'm on the board, and she's probably one of the main volunteers that's involved in everyday activities. But they started it as Jamie was just looking for, I guess, one horse. You can give more details because you've talked to her a lot.
It started as Jamie looking for a horse for her daughter to start. And then they went to auction. And of course she found a sick one. Skinny, nasty feet, hardly any teeth, and probably 1 foot in the grave. She ended up bringing him home. Instead of getting a perfect rideable for the daughter, got him back to health, and then hung on to him for a little bit, and then they started looking for the perfect husband horse. And in turn, again, brought home another sick, emaciated horse that needed some extra love and care, and then it turned into, they decided that they might as well go ahead and make it official and start doing this full time and saving even more than the 1 or 2 here and there.
We would have had the website completely up, but it's under construction. The things I can tell you about the business is it's strictly ran only by donations. Volunteers all, I think they have roughly, 10 that kind of rotate in and out, but it's all donations. Hayes donated everything they do. It's all paid for by our donations and or local farmers giving hay, medicines. She has people that come from Slater to do feet work, farriers, all our vets. But some of these horses come in really, really bad condition. Monday, I think they put down 2. So it's the chances. She tries to save them from the slaughter lots. Some are very, very, very young, and then she's gotten some. She was told one was 5, and it turned out it was 25. So, yeah. Some are really rideable, and then some are just old pasture, worn-out horses that just need a good home. Some of the things they do on the rescue, the volunteers, you guys give them an idea of what you do.
Your everyday farm work. I mean, out building fences. We put up one yesterday, and
You do feet work?
Yeah.
Nice.
Exercising, handling, some kind of like completely unhandled, never even had a human touch them, other than a harsh hand that scooted them onto a trailer and then took them to a lot in hopes that they would be bought, and sometimes that's not so much the case with them. So we do halter braking to start off, and then opened up a new program this year with the training, trying to get them handled and then go on to homes after that.
For adoption fees, on something like this, if you go look for a new horse, I mean, you can pay up to thousands. Jamie recommends that a lot of people look around at rescues for good rideable horses. You can get them anywhere from, if you're just willing to like lease your land really, and just have a horse stay there, I've seen him go for $150. She always makes sure they're current on shots, they're in very good condition before they ever leave a rescue. Some of the other things she does is, what, you've had donkeys? You've had mules. They've had goats. She kind of is a rescue of all sorts at this point. The reason we're here is to actually try to bring it out so people would be willing to donate more or at least have children volunteer. It's a great opportunity for kids to be out. They have a lot of functions that they do to raise money. A Mom and Me program. They've held little carnivals where people can do hand-to-hand contact with the horses because a lot of people don't understand them. There's also the people that get the horses thinking they're fun pets and then don't realize all the work that goes into them. A lot of times that's how Jamie ends up with them. She goes to slaughterhouses to save as many as she can. She gets a lot of people that just surrender them. She's also worked with the local animal shelters and has her name on a list to be called if any need picked up. So it's not just a run-of-the-mill. I think right now you have, 30 to 40 in the last couple of weeks. So it seems like only 5 or so go out. But
as soon as 5 go out, 5 come in.
It is an official 501c nonprofit. So everything, I know I donate monthly as well as she volunteers a lot of her time. She probably spends 40 to 60 hours a week out there. She does board a few horses. Does she give riding lessons? No.
We offer it now. We're showing it out there.
Okay. So there's certain volunteers that go out and offer different programs for the rescue as well.
I can speak about their business.
Thank you, Randy.
So I own a trail riding facility, and one common misconception is that they don't have registered horses because a lot of people they want registered because they think it's better. So they do have actually registered horses, and then a lot of people that rescue these horses have no experience with horses, and so they actually send a lot of people to me to get trained. And what I do like about them is they're a lot of times horse rescues are horrible. They're there to make money, and it's like a sham. This is not a sham. And with our trail riding facility, this is the only rescue that we actually support. Which is huge because a lot of people, as soon as you support a horse rescue, they think that they connect you with like all the shenanigans that happen with that. But I personally know that it's a legit thing. Okay, their daughter comes out for lessons with us, and then I know the feed that they feed because they actually get their feed from us. So I know the quality that they're giving to them. Anyway, I know that we're to the point of my horseback riding lessons have grown so much in guided rides that we're going to our next horse will actually get from them to actually support their business. And what I like about them also is a lot of these rescues will show this like horrible picture of a horse and they'll have people donate money and they never put the horse down, but the horse needs to be put down, okay? They actually put them down, which is very humane, and that does not happen. A lot of times they'll get other rescues that get some horse with some mangled leg and it's never going to heal, and they'll have people just donate, and that animal's in pain. And as soon as it's a done deal, they put the horse down here. So I'm getting chill bumps because that's a problem in the equine industry, but they are not part of the problem, they're part of the solution. So if you want an actual thing that's doing actual good in the equine industry, that is Whiskey Ridge Rescue. And they're local, so that's my take on that. We actually work together very well.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Randy. Thank you. One of my favorite things, she was not a very experienced horse person, but wanted to learn about it. She found this rescue on her own, went out there, spent like a day or two maybe, and then came home, and now I never see her. So she's gone from maybe riding twice in her life and been bucked off, but now she's finally getting to where she can almost consider herself an experienced rider. There's a lot of patience. A lot of the horses also Jamie gets tend to be like camp horses, so they have been on actual camps. So they're used to kids. A lot of them are very, very gentle. I do know we've had a few, I want to say from the Amish.
A lot of our standard birds right now.
Yeah. So they've somewhat been overworked. They're just looking for some gentle hands, some places to live out the rest of their life if they need to. Yeah. Anybody got questions?
So I'll start off our question session. So 501c3 nonprofit, I'm guessing. What is, obviously you're trying to rehome most of these, I would imagine, so they can go and rescue more. There's only so
Or
much
adopt
room,
them out.
probably. So what's the process for rehoming them? Is there a revenue source that you have there?
Jamie's very thorough. She takes applications. She kind of looks at the background. What experience do you have? That way she can line you up or put you on track with a horse that would be fit to your needs. Now, if you're just looking for a good pet, a pasture horse, you're not going to do a lot of hands-on riding or anything. She's got plenty of those. But she does have an application process that she asks everybody to fill out. She also has you sign a contract that states that you will not turn it over to a slaughterhouse. It will not be sold if you're done with it. Just bring it back to her. We've done a lot of that. So I think it's a great opportunity for people who have not had horses to grab one, adopt it out, foster one for a while, and if you find out it's not for you, it's easy to give it right back. That way, it's not being mistreated, it's not being abused, and it's not being left in a field for nothing. Yes, sir.
So do you ever sell them, but board them also? So if I wanted to buy one, but leave it there, and
she has boarded a few. I think there's 3 or 4 out there now. She's boarding, and it's not very much. I would say the rates are probably going to raise a little as the rain kind of hurt us for the haying season. So bales of hay have now gone, up to $100 a bale. So that's one of the biggest things we're out trying to do is raise some awareness to help her maintain her funds to maintain this many horses.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
What do you do, like, when you recover them? Like, what's your area? It's 2 questions. What areas do you cover? And number 2, what's it look like when you pick them up? Because I'm pretty sure you got to have a trailer and all that stuff.
Well,
I've worked with horses before.
Yeah, actually, I donated a trailer this year to her. She had a trailer that would hold 5 or 6, but she needed one that was a little more easier on gas, you could say, because she's gone to Tennessee, she's gone to Arkansas. United States. That's what I'm going to tell you. If the funds are there and it's available, she'll travel. There's also other rescues that Jamie's in contact with that will maybe closer that can board it until she gets there. But that's the reason I bought her the smaller trailer is that way she can only, if she needs to only pick up 1 or 2 horses, that'll be a lot cheaper than
How big
taking.
is the lot?
Oh, how many acres? They just expanded recently as well, so.
Or we're working on another expansion of 30 acres. We have 30 in use right now, but getting ready to add another 30.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, it's not for profit, and the goal is not necessarily to make money, but I imagine there's at least a minimum a goal of breaking even.
That's usually a goal, but it's not always hit.
So, and you mentioned some income sources with some, the parties and things like that. Is there an annual, do you set an annual goal for fundraising, or is it just a goal of doing
Whatever we can
to
get.
just stay afloat?
Pretty much at this point, that's how it works. There's just no guarantees with anything, and I think that's why we try to do so many different functions. We also try to let the community come out and be part of this, so they can see that it's really worth the donations. The carnival was a pretty good success. Trying to think, they do the mom and me, a dad and me, starting the lessons. Cheyenne's volunteering her time to start lessons, so it's just we try to do what it takes to get by. I think it was, what'd she say, 3 years you had to be in operation before she could apply for grants. So next year will be our 3-year mark, and then we can start applying for more things. But until then, I think the goal is just to stay afloat right now. We bring in a horse, and then of course they're quarantined until the vet gets there. Their teeth are floated, their feet are cut. They're made sure that they're all caught up on shots. She'll post before pictures of when it gets it, and we have 10 days later, where you can finally see, as Brandy said, the food that we give them is just not a run of the mill. We make sure they're having high quality food to get back to good condition. Yes, ma'am.
What's that average cost if you get a rescue in and keep it for a month, say? What would that dollar look like?
I would say it's going to depend on the condition it comes in. We've had some come in really, really bad condition, and we've had some that were just surrendered because people just couldn't afford them. So I would say you'd start with feed, some hay, and then general just shots. Farrier, what would you say? You're really hands-on with a lot of that.
I'd honestly say we probably get, for a month's worth of one, there's probably at least $200 invested right off the bat. I know Farrier runs about 40, 45, and then depending on like teeth and stuff, I mean, getting teeth done alone isn't cheap.
So, go ahead.
We spent $800 to $1,000 per horse per year, and that does not include feed.
How do you market your fundraising events, like your carnival that you were talking about?
It's more probably
when was
social media right now. We're redesigning the website now, so until that's completely done, it's really hard for her to, I want to say, advertise business-wise. With all the funds going straight into the horses for now, I think that's where our main focus is. Word of mouth has been big. Like I said, I didn't even know anything. I've lived in Windsor for 14 years. And then just, 2 years ago, she found it on Facebook. And
So I'm just going to say, I'm kind of thinking out loud here, but it might be beneficial, especially for your fundraisers, to share that information with these areas around you, so they can post it in their businesses.
well, it's funny you said that, because she was working on a flyer last night when I got home, and I said, we're going to have to start just doing that. Thank you.
And get a hold of your other nonprofits.
Mm-hmm. And people like Brandy, I mean, she's got so many contacts as well. I have noticed more people are talking about it. I have noticed that it does seem to be getting bigger, but it does take a bit to get something established. Yes, ma'am.
Just a comment and a question. Whoever supplies your feed,
Brandy?
whatever that company is,
It's Total Equine. It's Total Feeds.
go back to their charitable gift giving and have them donate that to you.
There's a cost in it for us also. We're a small business as well. And so it is already taxed. We sell to her for the minimum that we're able to sell it for. And there's less than $2 profit per bag. And the rest is coming out of my pocket. So my pockets are not very deep either. We're still doing it tax. No, I don't owe Total Feeds at all.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Going above. The person above me. Yeah.
More clear, but go to whoever this company
The
is,
direct.
because they'll donate to you.
Okay.
And the other thing, do you because there's, and I forget what the acronym is, but there's some rescue group here who sets up out of Tractor Supply, and somebody volunteers to grill, which brings people in to adopt the dogs. Do you piggyback on all the horse shows at the state fairgrounds?
I'm not familiar with.
Or are you going to have any kind of a booth exhibit during the state fair to
I
publicize
know
your
she's
efforts?
talked about it. I was gonna say, I don't know if she's made a decision on it or not. I was gonna say, no, there's a couple other events she was talking about doing booths up with, and even passing out, having flyers hung up around, especially the horse shows during the state fair and everything too.
I did bring some of her business cards as well. I would be happy to give anybody one or more information. Some of the things I will like to point out is if you have Facebook, if you pull it up and you can see some of what she's done, how the condition of these horses come into, and then she follows up with them. She had one horse and then gave it up for another one, but to watch the growth that the condition she gets them into 2 weeks later to a month. She'll post 2 years ago when she sold a horse or whatnot. She'll post that. She keeps everybody updated on all the horses that I can think of.
How many are employees?
With it being bought, there's no employees.
I was gonna say, wait, Jamie is our only permanent. The rest of us are all volunteers.
And how many volunteers?
I would say there's give or take about 10 that are on a regular, consistent basis. But I mean, she goes to college as well. Plus, she's got to start an internship program. So it's just the timing. She's been called out all hours, morning, noon, night, to go catch horses. They've knocked fences down. A couple weeks ago, 2 of the personal horses from the ranch or the rescue were stolen. So it was chaos. So they just call them out anytime.
So obviously with hay prices going up, that's a consideration. I could see a lot more rescue horses being available for rescue, maybe this winter. Is there a certain capacity point where you would love to take in 100% of the horses that you come around to, but at some point maybe you're out of room?
Yeah.
Do you think that would happen, or?
I think she does pretty well moving them some. She has sat on for quite some time. I know Doc, you guys had Doc for a year or 2. So there's some that do tend to linger. But I would say for the most part, some of them revolve pretty quickly and get out. So there is a point you do have to draw a line and say, we're full right now. Until we get rid of some, we can't really take in too many more. Which that's where we're asking people, hey, do you have some land? Do you want to foster land? Do you want to? So that's one of our things. If you don't want to adopt, to foster, or just to volunteer, all the extra time out there really helps her.
If you're wanting to adopt a horse, do not do the whole thing about like, oh, this one's only $800, and if you don't do it, it's going to go to slaughter. That's actually a slaughter buyer. You're actually helping the slaughter industry whenever you buy those. That way, to save them, you need to go through an actual rescue. Because whenever you pay for a horse that's to be saved, you just created enough funds for them to buy 4 more.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, don't do that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's, is it in Springfield?
Springfield auctions get really bad. About 80% of those people down there are actually kill buyers. About the whole first 2 rows around the arena.
Well, and by the way, slaughter is illegal in the United States, so they're either going to be shipped to Canada or to Mexico. And in Mexico, there's not rules on it as much. But in Canada, there is. There's more.
Yeah, they're regulated there.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. It's more regulated in Canada. But guess which one we're closer to? Yeah.
I was gonna say, they spend roughly about 40 hours straight on a trailer, and they'll pack as many as you can get on there. They'll be every bit 50 to 100 on a trailer. And as long as the slaughterhouses will take any horse that they can get as long as it's standing. If it's standing, it goes.
Seen some really, gives me goosebumps to think some of the ones, the conditions they're in, and that's what they say. Oh, it's, there's no hope for this horse. It's so under health that they just want to get rid of it. But that's not the case. There's places that'll take them and turn them way around.
So I get the very last question. What can we as a community do for you? What can we do for the company?
Just be aware that it's there. Post, just having the word out to family and friends, neighbors, your community. Just have word out that it is there, and that if anyone is into the horse per se area, go spend some time out there. Go see what she offers. Donations are great. Obviously, funds are always short, but just be aware it's there.
Very good. Let's give you laser on the